Mark Twain was born on November 30th, 1835, the same day that Halley's Comet could be seen from Earth. But Mark Twain was only the pen name of the great author. His real name was Samuel Clemens. Before he became a writer, he was apprenticed to a printer, but later he found himself in Nevada as a reporter. One of America's most famous humorist and author died on 1910, the same day that Halley's Comet came again, 75 years later.
Welcome to Mark Twain Middle School. You will meet a dedicated professional staff with tremendous expertise in meeting the educational needs of adolescents. Students at Mark Twain are friendly, enthusiastic, and they find learning enjoyable. The theme at Twain is committed to excellence. We use that throughout the building to inspire our students to do their very best. Committed to excellence certainly has implications for students, but for staff alike. At the middle school level, children are changing socially, emotionally, physically, and academically. Our academic program is rigorous. Teachers stretch to meet the needs of students, and students have opportunity for remediation and enrichment in the Fairfax County Program of Studies. Nurturance is absolutely essential at the middle school level, and therefore our structure deals with teaming. Our students are divided into 6 core teams, small families of about 130 students, where in fact 5 core teachers provide instruction for them. Here we're able to meet their social and emotional needs along with the academic needs. Teachers plan conscientiously together every week to make cross-curricular connections. This has caused a natural segue to the final stages of middle school implementation at Twain. This final stage is a block schedule, which we have very proudly implemented during the school year. Staff development was absolutely critical to this issue as we began dealing with longer instructional time frames. We have emphasis on collaborative teaching and interdisciplinary instruction. Our students have 7 classes, just as all students in Fairfax County, but they meet with only 5 classes each day. The periods range from 60 minutes to 90 minutes in length, and we have a rotating schedule so that the students are able to see teachers at different times during the day. This kind of schedule actually allows instruction to drive the timelines, and it affords us the opportunity for extended enrichment and remediation of students since we are able to group and regroup within that schedule. We're very fortunate to be in partnership with Tidewater Consultants and with Omni Engineering, and the Tidewater folks have provided us with a large number of computers that have enabled the students at Twain at the 7th grade level to all experience a keyboarding class. Omni Engineering has provided us with tutors for our students, which we have found to be very, very helpful. And during your visit to our school today, we are going to be celebrating Mark Twain's 160th birthday. Please join us in the celebration.
The emphasis on keeping up with rapidly changing technology is evident in a mandatory class in developing basic computer skills.
Tools for Learning at Twain is a 1-semester required class for every 7th grader. They take Tools for Learning for 1 semester. The 2nd semester, they have art, and that's also required. In Tools for Learning, we teach it a little bit differently. We structure basically learning the basic keyboarding skills, and after that, we take it a little bit further. We go into word processing, database, and spreadsheet. They learn just the basic concepts. They learn how to manipulate existing databases and spreadsheets, and they learn learn to design their own very simple ones. It gives them a taste of the computer and how it's used today, so they can go on later and go into more advanced classes, or just be computer literate and know some very basics so they understand when other people are talking about certain things. They've got the vocabulary and the basic concepts to understand. Characters per inch, so you're going to go ahead and change it to 10 by doing what?
CI?
CI, exactly. Good. Okay. Nope, one more thing. What else?
And double space.
And double space. We try to be interdisciplinary. For example, we do a lot of writing to a prompt, which reinforces English skills. We emphasize the same things that the English department does. Paragraph structure, we try to use the same terminology. In math this year, we're trying to work cooperatively with the math department, and they'll be designing some problems for the kids to use the spreadsheet skills with. So we've tried to do things across the curriculum so we can reinforce the skills learned in other classes and tools for learning.
Some students at Twain have moved way beyond the basics.
We were using the internet to explore various things and various projects that we've been doing with the school. And we noticed that some of the other schools in the area, like Thomas Jefferson and Mount Vernon High Schools, they had their own home pages on the internet, and they placed some of their students' artwork and poetry and that sort of thing there, and also links to places where you could find information about things that the school was doing. So we decided that we would try to do that for our school, and we've made this small experimental homepage. It's not as big as the high school's page, but it's interesting because we have links to some of the projects that we've been doing. It's important for kids to be able to understand the new technology that's going to be useful in the future. It's also important to use the latest technology for education, different kinds of math programs and math products. And it's also useful in learning about computers in general and learning how computers work and how computer networks work.
Computer proficiency is one part of staying ahead in the technological revolution. Applying computer skills in other applications, such as problem solving, requires a higher level of thinking. The computer may make the journey faster, but the driver still has to know the destination before setting out on the information superhighway. And as with all technology, the road may be bumpy at times.
Are you ready, Mrs. Miller? Ready. Okay. The students design and build a car, and it is powered by a CO2 cartridge, and we race them to compete for a trophy. The students had to design on paper from 3 thumbnail sketches to a final drawing and have it approved by the teacher before they could start cutting it out of a block of wood. From there, then they paint it and get it ready for racing, and then actually race it against their classmates. There's a small cartridge filled with CO2 gas, and it is punctured, which propels the car down the track. The students in technology education are exposed to computer use, computer machines that are run actually by computers. They do computer-aided drawing.
Video is also a part of the new technology. Rather than be passive users of the medium, some students are making video a hands-on learning experience.
We entered a tape for CNN and journalism contest, and our subject we chose was to do a Special Olympics. And we interviewed the people in charge of the Special Olympics program, and we also interviewed some of the students. We decided to do it because we thought that it'd be important that people would know about how our school is involved in Special Olympics, and that our students are very involved in it too. We had a producer, we had writer researcher, and we have co-correspondents shown on the tape and people who also filmed it. There's a lot of teamwork we did together. We did a lot of writing, and there's a lot of suggestions put into it, and we all worked together to get it done. And we also learned a lot about some of the students that participate in the Special Olympics.
While video provides a creative outlet for some students, others are involved in developing plays and acting, and the writings of Mark Twain provide ample material.
Call Thomas Sawyer.
Thomas Sawyer, take the stand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and so help you God?
I do.
Take the stand.
Thomas Sawyer, where were you on the 17th of June, about the hour of midnight.
In the graveyard.
A bit louder, please. Don't be afraid. You were...
In the graveyard.
As part of our program of studies, we do a number of things, including reading, literature, writing, speaking, listening, and viewing. Our unit on The Adventures of Tom Sawyer allows us to work with all of those different parts of the English program of studies. Students read The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, wrote and discussed it, and just recently they worked in small groups to collaborate writing scenes, which they will then rehearse and present to the class. Eventually, we hope to videotape these so that we can share them with other classes, not only at Mark Twain, but also in our community.
Heaps. If he did have an aunt, she would have done it himself. She would have roasted the bowels out of him without any more humans if he was human.
By bringing Twain's writings to life, students get to experience his work from a different perspective. The same is true in math, when using concrete objects to solve abstract problems.
Negative. Okay. Minus 10. Equals. Okay, what's over here? Negative 9x. Good. What's next? All right. What's next? Positive 10, correct? Or plus 10. What is our strategy? What do we have to get on the left-hand side?
The same thing.
The x's or the numbers. As long as the x's are on one side and the numbers are on the other. Okay, how many x's do I have here? 9. All right, well, how many zeros then, or how am I going to get rid of these x's? 0. Create what? 0. Okay, and how many numbers do I have to get rid of? 10. How would you like for me to get rid of that?
Create zeros.
Create zeros?
Yeah.
Okay. Can someone come up and show me how to do that?
Put those there.
Okay, tell us what you're doing.
I'm putting those on to make 0.
Okay, so you're adding how much?
10.
Okay, you're adding 10 to the left-hand side, which means you also have to what?
Add 10 to the right.
Add 10 to the right-hand side. Okay, now, we learned that what you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the
other side.
Okay, good. Okay, what can I cancel over here on the right-hand side? Can I see that, please? So we have 9x and negative 9x.
3x equals 15.
Okay, are we finished?
Yes.
Do we know how much each x is?
No.
Can someone come up and deal cards for me? Okay, do you all agree?
Yes.
Okay, how much does each x equal?
5.
All right, good.
This is Math 7 Superstars, and we're using manipulatives to solve algebraic equations.
And the reason we're using manipulatives is because it helps us to understand what we're doing better, and it lets us be active instead of just sitting down and just writing something down.
Active participation is an important part of teaching in the middle school, especially when a variety of different topics are incorporated in a cross-curricular approach to mathematics.
One of the parts of the program of studies in 7th grade mathematics is quantitative literacy, which involves collecting data and knowing how to interpret graphs and also how to record data and to present your own information that you've gathered. And we've learned from experience that the children get a lot more interested in it if they are interested in the information that they have to graph and record. So in conjunction with Mark Twain's birthday, and the celebrated jumping frog and all that, we did the origami frogs, and we're keeping information on the measurements with the distance jumping and the pond jumping and so on and so forth. And all this information will be taken into the computer lab at some point, and the children will be learning how to use spreadsheets and create graphs in the computer lab with information and data that they've collected with their jumping frogs.
Go. Go, 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 go. Next.
You should take one jump at a time.
The person with the shortest hair in your team will be this writer. Will be your writer. Who has the shortest hair? shortest hair.
Sometimes a different approach is needed to keep the attention of middle school students.
The students are working together in teams to review for a quiz that they're going to be taking in the next class. What we're doing is we're going over two-step equations, which they've been working on for a couple days, and some of them have some mastery and some of them still have some rough edges. So by making them work together in the game that we're playing, they are forced to teach each other what's going on, and it gets them a greater sense of self-confidence with it. It also keeps them all engaged because some of the students are all dependent upon each other to score in the game. So they have to, because they don't want to let everybody else down in their team.
You add the opposite, okay? So adding the opposite, you make that a negative. And then you have to do plus 10 cancel out. So you add 10, which is 160.
I use the approach that I do because I want to keep the students as engaged as possible. The students are all at different levels, and sometimes one student will understand something, sometimes another student will understand something. But no matter what happens, 8th graders love to socialize. If I can get them to socialize about what's going on and have the ones who understand explaining to the ones who don't, then I'm really engaging the students, getting them to do something they like to do. And once they like to do what they're doing, they do better at it.
Negative 5x equals 160.
Divide -5 into 160.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. X equals negative 32. Let's put it back.
I'm a ham. I'm an absolute cornball. I just do anything I can to make things a little more interesting, a little bit different, something to catch their attention and keep their attention, because if I can make it add that little bit of entertaining to class, and it makes it a more comfortable atmosphere, and they like what they're doing better.
This is true. And since it's true, there's some points for you.
I'm looking at an E over here. Hers is red because it's in color. Now I want you to draw what you see. Make sure you draw what you see. That's like she's doing. Today we had a lesson on how to use the microscope. We started with a simple lesson of introducing to the kids the proper way to maintain and use the microscope. And the first thing we did was to show them how to carry it, show them how to make a slide, which is also called a wet mount. We cut out a small E from the newspaper, and then we give this E to every student. And this is to help them make a wet mount. So after this step, if they're looking for things that can be found, organisms that can be found in the aquarium, this will enable the students to know how to properly adjust the microscope so they can actually observe and sketch what they see. Rub it slightly on your microscope slide. Do it now. And then actually put your cover slip on. There you go. Just rub it around. That's good. Now put the cover slip on at a 45-degree angle. Let it fall slowly. When students understand that what we're doing here, teaching them about technology, as you know, technology is a big deal now. And anytime we can teach our kids how to use technology and understand why it is used, then that is one reason why I encourage everyone, especially science teachers, to use the microscope. So how does your doctor determine whether or not you have strep throat?
Well, stick something in your mouth or get some tissues from your throat and looks underneath the microscope.
Oh, the magic word, microscope. So if your doctor uses the microscope, it must be important. All right, just want you to remember that. Now, the next thing.
The relationship I have in this class is I'm an LD teacher, and I come in and I assist all the kids in every aspect possible, between team teaching with Mr. Barnes as well as sole teaching by myself. We come in here to help the kids that have different levels. The great tool of this inclusion is that we're able to have different levels of kids in a single class and be able to experience the great vast wealth of information that biology can include in their life as life skills. The class is set up in groups of 4, so they can teach themselves, also be mentors to themselves as well as other students. The good part about this setup is that the students are able to walk around and collaborate with each other and consult with certain scenarios. For example, today we were working on the microscope, and the kids were able to interact with each other and discuss, and also walk over to each other's microscope and look at it and see what they've seen in their microscope, because some use different types of organisms or different letter E's, different shapes of E's, and so they were able to experience more of a wealth by helping themselves as well as having teachers help them.
Students with special needs benefit from the team teaching approach in the classroom. Many of these students also enjoy participating in a challenging and highly regarded physical fitness program.
We have a very large Special Olympics program here at Mark Twain. We participate in 5 sports. In the fall we do soccer. In the winter we do downhill skiing and basketball. And in the spring we do track and field and softball. That way it gives the kids that are interested in individual sports the opportunity for that. And for the ones that are interested in team sports, we train them and work with them on that. We've done it for about 10 years now. We started small with one little basketball team and some track and field. And then we added the skiing and then soccer and full court basketball, and to give the kids a well-rounded opportunity to participate in sports just as their regular education peers would. Last year we were selected as School of the Year for Virginia Special Olympics, which was a very big honor for us. Many times our kids are not given the opportunity to participate in sports, and this is their time to show that they can do, that they are able, that they are capable, that they can do things that they enjoy, and they're just like the neighborhood kid. Our team is just like the youth club team that they see their brothers and sisters playing on.
Physical fitness is a goal for all the students at Twain Middle School and part of a program to respond to the needs of this age group.
It's important to have PE at the middle school level because we try to build strong hearts and minds and build a positive self-worth at this level. We were doing an aerobic routine through jump roping, which was really a task because of the coordination it takes to jump rope, and I feel like kids do a real good job at it.
Just as the body needs to stretch, so must the mind, especially when creativity is called for.
This year, for the first time, all 7th graders in Mark Twain take art, so all 7th graders take art. This particular group that you're with today is a group of 7th graders who was on my team, which is the Superstar team, but they are a special group, a special population, because their art is taught in Spanish, and their teacher is Senorita Donovan, and I coordinate with her. Okay, it's a team effort. Today they are working on a mosaic project, which in mosaics is inlaid little bits of color. And some are working together, cooperating in a group effort, and some children are working on an individual project. Now all the projects in the 7th grade program, it's an exploratory art program, all the projects that we do, it's a very success-oriented program. So that it gives children many choices. For instance, this group has decided to work together, and that's a cooperative learning effort, and then some children choose not to, and then they can work on an individual level. So therefore they can succeed in more than one way.
Most of these students began studying Spanish in 1st grade at Rose Hill. They studied half a day in Spanish, half a day in English. The subjects they studied were math, science, and health, as well as the language. When they progressed into 7th grade here at Twain, it was decided to put the Spanish immersion class into the art program, working with Mrs. McCormick. And there were not a large number of students in the program at that time, so some of these students are native Spanish speakers. Spanish is spoken in their homes. They didn't previously participate in the immersion program, but they've joined us here, and we welcome them because their native Spanish abilities enhance our classroom.
Creativity often requires discipline in order to attain a goal.
We work hard in establishing a quality program, and the last few years we've had quite a bit of success in our performances. The kids have done an outstanding job.
Okay, looking good. Nice firm attack on the beginning.
Kids need the opportunity to express themselves in various ways, other than academically. And studies have shown, recent studies have shown that students that participate in the band programs or music programs, period, fare better, particularly on the SAT scores. They then generally turn out to be better students academically, because music encompasses so many different aspects of the curriculum, such as math, science, the foreign language. Music covers all of these various disciplines, and it's a very, very important part of the curriculum. And this is something that's very important in making the individual a rounded person. And it's something that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives. We train students here how to be good musicians, and that's something that they use throughout their life, no matter what field that they choose to pursue. If you're a doctor, lawyer, nurse, dentist, trash collector, what have you, participating in the music, particular performing music program is a commitment. The discipline that you learn there does carry over into your workplace. You develop a work ethic, a work habit. The routine of practicing on a daily basis is something that you can certainly apply to your daily life. This makes for a well-rounded individual.
Mark Twain Middle School is more than just students and staff.
One of the greatest strengths at Mark Twain is the staff that we have, the administrative staff, the principal. I think the teachers are top quality, very interested in doing what is best for the students, and it shows in how they teach. And there's a sense of teamwork here at Mark Twain that I think carries over into our volunteer part of the school, the PTA. We have a very active PTA who works very hard to provide any needed items or manpower for things that go on in this school. I think that's one of the strengths of this school, is that the parents are able to work as a team with the teachers and feel appreciated, and it works very well here.
Some of the Twain students helped serve the special birthday cupcakes. Some were working on a recycling campaign. Others were taking a leadership role in their student council, while other students were working on special projects for the holiday season. There's a variety of opportunities available to students at Twain, and a number of avenues that students can take. The cynical Mark Twain once said, "I have never let my schooling interfere with my education." He probably wouldn't have said that had he gone here.